quick cross today to show James, who's in another country called China. And before we go there, I just want to make one point about this. It's quite interesting because in Australia, we've been fed this story about the Chinese and their duplicative motives and how everything, censorship has gone wild there and no one's got any free speech, all sorts of stuff. What's contradictory is we've spoken to James, and it sounds to me that somewhere between the media take on what China's about and what you've found, it's not the same story, is it, James?
No, it's BS.
I think that sums it up for today. It's quite good. We don't need a lot. We just need a little bit to push, and I don't mind that. Yeah.
No,
so you living in China, I suppose being an Australian, you've been oppressed every minute of the day, haven't you? Because that's what we told us would happen. Have you been oppressed every day?
Yeah, I'm oppressed. I mean, I'm currently sitting in a lead-lined room, and I've got a satellite link where I'm hacking into external IP computers in Australia, so I can talk to you. Not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a very free place, and that's very hard to grasp for anyone that's actually never been here. And I mean,
exactly.
You could come here. You could come here for a holiday, and you could travel around, and you could experience some of the tourist sites, and go, well, yeah, it's great. There's hundreds of people, thousands and thousands of people in the tourist place. It's busy. But if you've only been here for a week, you get a taste of it. But you live here. I mean, I've been here for 3 years. But not consecutively. I've been back to Australia during COVID because went back prior to COVID and then got stuck there essentially, and then came back. So it's been 3 years all up, and not once have I felt oppressed. I've had the ability to do what I'm doing with you guys right now and having a chat. I've actually visited particular sites in China which people have said that should be off limits. People in the West have said that they should be off limits. How did I do this? How did I do that? Well, I just drove there, walked up, had my camera, and did whatever I wanted to do. Nobody stopped me. In fact, they smiled and greeted me and spoke to me and let me do whatever it is I wanted. The only time I ever got stopped filming was when I took my camera and my gimbal to do like a bit of a video vlog in the city's metro system here in Fuzhou, and they told me not to, and that was purely because they didn't want people doing videos inside their actual metro system. But I could take pictures and I could go through, but they didn't. They just stood there and had a laugh with me, and we had a chat, and that was it. I mean, that's the only time I've ever been told that I can't record something.
Well, guess what? In Australia, we've been told we can't record a lot of things, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got letters from the government telling us what we can and can't do and threatening to put us in jail. Isn't that amazing? Because we're supposed to be pure democracy and China's oppressed. But somehow between the two, I think it's really important. And one of the reasons I wanted to start with your work, James, is basically for two reasons: to talk about the archaeology in China, but also to talk about the fact that the stories we're sold and told about other people in places are often lies, straight out. And this is a really important example. It's quite fascinating at the moment. You may not be aware of this, but in Australia, one of the highest ranking Chinese officials that's ever visited Australia specifically wanted to talk to Paul Keating. You know what's interesting about that? Because Paul Keating said, Chinese are fine. Why are we picking fights with them all the time? They're good people. It's amazing. Paul Keating hasn't been a prime minister for nearly 20 years, but the Chinese know that he's one of the few politicians that actually is saying to everyone, stop picking on him. So, I think it's really important you talk about, A, the things you've seen, and B, let's put some truth into the story about another country, because at the moment, it's not right what we've spoken about. So I think that's going to be an important part of this. And I do recommend people come and watch this and find out the truth about a country that is one of the two most important and powerful countries on this planet. I think yelling at them and throwing sticks and stones is not the way to deal with them. So, mate, talk about that. Let's talk about your travels as much as let's talk about what you've actually seen.
So I might get you to explain what's up on the screen at the moment, which we were doing just before we went live. But I might get you just so I know what's in the background.
Okay, so I'm just going to be turning my head this way because I've got dual monitors here and I've got it up on the screen. But this is just an image, but it is from Google Earth, and I could bring up Google Earth at some point and step you through it.
No, just do the image for now because it's just a promo. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so here we have the city of Xi'an, which is in the Shaanxi province, which is essentially western China, northwest, I guess. And you've got the main city of Xi'an here, and Xi'an is the oldest city in China. It's the one with the most history, and it's also the one with the pyramids, the Chinese pyramids. They're called mausoleums or burial tombs of the emperors. Now, whether or not these pyramids or mausoleums were built prior to the emperors' burials and they just used them, I'll never know, but that's just something that I like to put out there because it is a possibility. Many things popping up in the world that are older than we've been told. But anyway, we've got Xi'an in the middle here, and we've got pyramids all around, and I've counted 37, I believe, at last look, and they're all around the city. So we've got Xi'an Airport here, and then we've just got pyramids all over the place. And they essentially look like this.
Oh,
wow.
Oh. All right. No point. That's pretty straightforward. You don't have to really try and convince us.
You don't really need to just squint. It's just there, right?
Okay. That's essentially what they look like. All their pyramids. It's easy.
Yeah. And forgive me, I got my little daughters are here. On the day I'll actually be in an office, so I'm doing it from out. My daughter's wanting to come in. She's banging on the glass. But anyway, yeah. So it's a pyramid. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a burial tomb. Official story is it's a burial tomb. This one's called the Mausoleum, but a pyramid. It is. I mean, the shape of it, the construction, it is a pyramid. So
absolutely. So we're doing something. That's a good picture to just show people, to let people know that this is legit. There are pyramids in China. There are pyramids in South America. There are pyramids in North America. There's pyramids in Egypt, and there's pyramids in Australia, and there's pyramids in Bosnia. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be shocked by this.
Pyramids everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know people...
Antarctica?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're focused on a particular photo.
Oh, yeah. There's one there.
And I know, yeah, there's definitely there's only a little bit of chatter about the pyramids in China. So, but most people don't know a lot. So no, I think this is going to be a very important episode for people to actually hear from someone that's there to actually see a little bit more what's going on over there.
One thing I might quickly add, though, is to put it into context, this particular pyramid or mausoleum that we're looking at right now is over 2,000 years old.
Yeah. That is a good context, and it's quite possible they could be older than the ones in Egypt, or they could be contemporaries. It doesn't matter, because we do know that in South America they're finding pyramids now that seem to be predating the Egyptian ones. So we've got to get used to the fact that the pyramids were used all over this country, all over the planet, and for a variety of reasons. Yes, they could be mausoleums as well as, but there's certainly other functions with them. So, yeah, we hit the end of stream on that one now. That'll be good. We'll use that. Okay. Thank you, James.
Yeah. So let's just